We talked about the industries that are hiring, and that's mostly healthcare and it's like government jobs. But the companies that are still reporting profits, that are still like doing well, are on Wall Street and Silicon Valley. The biggest tech companies are still blowing the back out of earnings. I couldn't find a more sexual way to say it, but it is sexual. It is orgasmic. In fact, look at, sorry, I'm skipping slides. Go to slide 20. He's coming when he took this photo. If you go to the slide right after that, it shows Meta's recent earnings report. They're having a great time. But what is so shocking, what is so ahistoric, is that Microsoft and Meta are, again, ball-bustingly good earnings.
Yeah.
And then they're laying people off. Like they are doing better than ever. They're crushing. Their main business is doing well. They're throwing a ton of money in AI. If you are an AI researcher, you're doing better than ever in history. You're making absurd money. But the average employee, they're still like, they left 9,000 people. Microsoft did another 8,000.
Damn.
So these are the few companies. If you go to slide 19, it really shows it.
Are the layoffs coinciding with these? Like it's still happening in the last month?
Yes.
The last 2
Yes.
months?
Yeah,
Wow.
Microsoft, Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, put out a post internal that was like, why we have to change. It's like, we want to discuss, we just had to let go of all the normal jargon of like, incredible, our friends and our family and our coworkers. We had to let go of 9,000 people. Probably many of you are confused and frustrated because we also have hit our most profitable quarter of all time. And it's just from there. It's like, we need to repivot for the future. It's just nonsense. There's no.
I'm so glad you read that because to me,
it's one thing to be like, so sorry, we had to lay off 9,000 people. It's another to be like, we had to lay off 9,000 people. We know you're hurting and I want to address it. Doesn't address it at all.
Oh my God, dude. He mixed two things. He mixed announcing how fucking great the company is doing and the layoffs into the same post. And to me, I could be wrong, but to other people, it was clearly written by Copilot. He was like using his own.
Really?
I mean, maybe wrong. Maybe it was heartfelt. I'm not sure, but it just felt, it had the AI vibe. And
he has an AI vibe to him.
It's possible true. I'll fully admit that. It was
What
just
is
like,
because the profits don't exist just because of the layoffs, right? Like it's not one-to-one.
No, they're doing great and then laying people off. It's not,
What actually is the logic, you think? Like what is it genuinely like we're bloated and have a bunch of talent that doesn't align with what we want to do in the future? I'm not trying to excuse these companies by any means, but there's like, they made the decision, right? So there must be a thought
you could
process
say,
behind it.
I mean, so here are some of the lines of thinking. One is the businesses are changing dramatically. All these big tech companies are trying to reorient towards AI. If you've built out these giant structures in your company, for example, Microsoft shut down a bunch of their game studios. I think that's stupid. I don't think they should have bought those studios in the first place if they were just going to go shut them down. But the thinking is, if you believe Satya Nadella's thinking, which is our company needs to be fundamentally reoriented around AI, well, that means letting go of parts of the company that aren't about that. Like these are just making traditional games. That's not his focus. Microsoft explicitly is trying to do AI games, which I know most people are, including myself, not a big fan of at all. But so if the thinking is we need to reorient in this way, there is a real cost to having giant chunks of a company that aren't oriented like towards your main mission. Sure. As much as people like to believe like, oh, just let them keep going, you have a lot of money. It's not good generally for a business to just have giant swaths of things that are just doing totally independent things that are not related to your core mission. So under the premise of our core mission is AI, we need to rebuild everything around that. You drop parts of your company that don't feel like they align. Same with the groups within your company that don't feel like they can be reoriented in this way. And then part of it is just cycling. It's important to remind everybody in the context of this incredibly frustrating, brutal job environment, that part of what is going on is that in 2021, which we'll actually talk about a little bit with Figma, there was this absolutely massive explosion and bubble within tech. Microsoft like doubled, I think. I mean, we're talking like 100,000 new employees. I think Microsoft, I don't know, maybe you can look it up, but we're talking about tens and tens and tens of thousands of people that suddenly in a year pop up in every tech company. It was obviously at the time a massive bubble. And now there's this huge contraction. And the problem is many, many people across the world and society went, these areas are expanding. I'm going to push myself into those areas.
I'm going to learn how to code. I'm going to
learn how to code at UC Berkeley, right? Like, again, when I went there, I was an anomaly by being a computer science student. Now the majority of students are computer science students. At least that's what I'm told. So this massive shift happened in society to go, okay, we are going to invest into these companies. The bubble is now kind of gone. Simultaneously, they're trying to reorient towards AI. And so now all of them are going, we need to contract massively. Part of the benefit of contracting and laying people off is then you can bring in like fresh people who really orient, which I think is, again, I do not think this is ethical. I think it's a shitty thing to do, but there is there is logic to it.
Yeah.
If you believe that this is a critical thing for your company to survive, like future surviving, thriving is to reorient in this way.
What I'm saying is I don't care about the ethics. Like if you go back to that slide, I'm sorry, Perry, the 19 slide, I don't care about the ethics of it. They can do what they want with their business. It sucks. CEOs are always going to write fucking terrible things when they lay off people.
Yeah.
The point is that these are the few companies, if you go to slide 19, these top 10 companies in the S&P, the big tech companies, these are the few companies doing well. And if they're not net hiring, do you know what I'm saying?
What does it say if the best performing
Yeah.
companies in the economy are still the ones doing
Yeah,
these
if they're
layoffs?
the ones doing layoffs, then like what the hell, or what is everyone else going to do? And again, they are hiring people for AI, but it's like they're firing 25 people making 100,000 and hiring one guy making 250 million.
So here's where
Like-
I'll give a bit of context. I've mentioned a couple times now that I've become a little more pessimistic about AI over this last 6 months. And in part is things like this, because in theory, AI should be creating new jobs. And we've talked about the first episode, we talked about how in the short term, when a brand new disruptive technology comes into society, like the internet, it's going to destroy more jobs than it creates, but eventually it will create more jobs. But the way CEOs in tech companies are explicitly talking, like Toby from Spotify, is we aren't hiring anybody until we prove it can't be done with AI. Like they are making a cultural, intentional shift towards get rid of anybody who can't support AI focus and don't hire anybody unless we absolutely provably cannot do it with AI.
And these are the companies doing well. These are the companies with earnings
Right.
growth.
And so
it's
they're the ones growing because of AI and because of the hype around AI. And so these are the companies that should, in theory, be spearheading the growth that comes from this new technology. Instead, they're as a cultural point, saying we are going to try to thin down as much as we possibly can.
And there's just nowhere, you lose a job at these places after investing all this time in your education and career.
Right.
I mean, in a similar capacity to my friend that had been working in post-production and TV for so long.
Yeah.
And now they're in a situation where it's like all this time I spent up into this point doesn't, like, where do I go with it?
Right. Which sucks. It's fucking
Yeah,
sad.
yeah.
I still think there's an incredible amount of good that can come out of AI. And I'm increasingly getting pessimistic that that companies are really not making an effort to bring those benefits to the average person right now. And I think that's quite sad.
I think the average person is benefiting. Can you go to slide 1? There's one person who's actually making out quite well in this economy.
And this is the average person.
This is the average person.
This is the average person.
The
Okay.
average person's hero. Elon Musk today was awarded, after a long battle, $30 billion because they want him to energize and focus. Most dumbass CEOs try to do good first and then get the pay package. But if you read the bottom of this, following lackluster results last month, Elon Musk renewed his threat to leave Tesla. So what Elon does is he does a bad job first,
And
then
then he
threatens to leave.
That's so sick.
And then he gets an even higher payout.
This actually has to be one of the most insane CEO company dynamics of all time. Because in any other situation, this is just not how it even could work. Am I wrong?
I mean, it's like
so funny.
it's like if Shohei Ohtani in baseball,
Yeah.
he is, I think, widely considered the greatest of all time now, or up there. And then let's say he has an absolute dog shit season this year, and then the Dodgers are like, look, we're going to pay you even more to stick around because we think you'll bring it back next year and you'll become the GOAT again.
Yeah.
That is the thinking here, right? Because like inarguably Tesla and Elon through SpaceX and Tesla has created trillions of dollars of market share. So as an investor, he is your wet dream when he's functioning properly.
Am I insane for thinking that when you're that wealthy and you have that much of the stock already, 30 billion doesn't move the needle on your work ethic?
I don't get it.
Surely.
30 billion should move the needle on anyone's work ethic.
No. But do you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm
It's
for
like
Elon,
it's
yeah.
all at that stage and
Yeah.
at that scale. It's nonsense numbers. You're already in practice as functionally rich as you will ever be.
I think that's a fair point.
But what is another?
Are you asking me, do I think Elon is suddenly going to
No,
lock in?
No, but that's what I'm saying is like from the board's
Yeah.
perspective, do you really think that this pay package is going to change anything significant about this guy's output?
Okay, he went and did Doge for a while. If my cat is distracted and rowdy and running around, I will give him a treat to calm back down and stay focused.
You give your cat $30 billion.
I give him a $30
$30
treat. Look, the scale is a little bit bigger here, but it's the same concept. The Elon cat was wandering around and there was a bird outside called
Yeah.
Doge that he kept looking at and he got
Yeah.
really excited about it. And Tesla needs to just get him focused back on
And if we
the company he
if we
runs.
followed this analogy, I do not think there's much stopping the cat from going back outside at any
and getting
time.
more treat. Yeah, it's so funny
And-
because he's figured out a way to get paid a ton when Tesla's doing well, and get paid even more when it's doing badly. He has found an ultimate.
To be fair though,
Yeah.
I feed my cat treats regardless. He's
I just want to put this number in a scale real quick because I think it'll help you understand. So $30 billion, we obviously know it's a lot of money, but Tesla's a big company. Tesla's entire profit for 2024 was $7 billion. And that was one of their bigger years. I mean, like they've ramped up since post-COVID. I think added up, their entire profit ever. All the profit this company has ever made is his pay package now. This year, it's just like the company has only existed to give him money. It's just wild to me. It is wild the system he's created. Now, I think he's played it pretty smartly, and I want to give a little more detail here. One thing he's noticed, as all tech CEOs have, if you say the word AI, stock goes up. Tesla has notably been kind of absent from AI because Elon Musk has focused all his AI attention on Grok and XAI. He's put all of his time into that. And he's basically saying, I'm going to leave Tesla and focus on that stuff. But if you keep me around, I'm probably going to merge the two. I'm going to find a way to get the word AI into Tesla's earnings reports more often. And that will probably boost shares enough, is what they're thinking, to make up for this $30 billion loss. So there's a rationale to it. It's not the most insane thing, but it's kind of just disgusting. It's just disgusting. And
I can't believe I can't buy a BYD. It's insane. It's insane that I can't
I
buy
don't know
that
you're a
car.
trader. I don't know you're a fucking trader. That's interesting.
all right. Speaking of merging companies.